This evening, School of the Nation's principal recovering after being shot. Minibus Code of Conduct finally unveiled. VREED Hope line monitor makes morning commute more orderly. Accident witness testimonies differ from official police account. In the region, hundreds spared dead after dam collapsed in Brazil. And internationally, NFL coach diversity in the spotlight after a number of black coaches fired. Greetings to our viewers in Guyana and around the world. Today is Monday, January 28, 2019, and this edition of Headline News is now being streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Witnesses to the auto accident that involved the Commissioner of Police's vehicle over the weekend offer conflicting testimonies to the official statement. Esther Sobers went to the scene and filed this report.
Several eyewitnesses at the scene of the accident involving the police commissioner's vehicle are refuting the official statement. According to police, last Saturday, a vehicle belonging to the Commissioner of Police, Leslie James, collided with a canter truck along the western side of the Covent Garden public road. The siren was reportedly engaged at the time. Jagas Bazio, a local businessman, said that the impact slightly damaged his truck, which was parked on the side of the road.
Police vehicle and the canter were already the accident. It happened by the street end. The police vehicle hit the vehicle on the back, the vehicle on the back. And it hit this truck here. This way, right now. The police vehicle hit my truck. My truck was parked here. Hit it from the back, front, and then was still hit here before it stopped.
Was there any sirens being heard?
Well, the eyewitness went out yesterday and said no siren went on the vehicle. The siren was not on.
This contradicts the police report, which states that the top cop's vehicle was proceeding north along the western side of the road with its beacon lights on. It further claims that the canter suddenly swerved from east to west and stopped leaving the rear portion of the driving lane. As a result, the left front side of the Jeep struck the right side of the canter. The truck sprung multiple times before colliding with the parked truck. However, Bazio is of the firm belief that the commissioner driver drove recklessly and is to be blamed for the accident.
Was the one who ran, hit the guy on the back, the right side back on the vehicle, the canter was yapping, hit it on the right side back. So if you watch the police vehicle, the whole left side front is what damaged. So he went from the outer lane.
Two other eyewitnesses who didn't want to appear on camera also confirmed that no siren was heard. A visit to the Providence police station saw the remains of a dismantled water truck filled with damaged water bottles. Meanwhile, the driver, 37-year-old Bazio Lalchan, and passenger, 24-year-old Jonathan Warmkelawan, suffered severely broken legs and injuries to the back and shoulders respectively. Commissioner James was not harmed in the accident. However, his assistant, Alistair Smith, was taken to a private hospital for shoulder injuries, while his driver tested negative for alcohol. Nonetheless, police investigations are ongoing. For Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. In 2017, statistics show that Region 10 had the highest rate of child abuse. The Child Protection Agency recorded a total of 4,179 cases, which reflected 22.1 cases per 1,000 children. Region 10's Councillor Melissa Chapman related that cases continue to come out of Region 10. With that in mind, the Department of Social Protection for Region 10 has teamed up with Blossom Incorporated, a children's charity based in Guyana, to provide rehabilitative services to children who are or have been abused. Blossom Incorporated is also collaborating with the Linden Hospital Complex's social workers and the A Division Police Force, where collective decisions are made about investigations, treatment, management, and prosecution of child sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and extreme physical abuse cases. For 2019, 9 cases have already been referred to the Advocacy Center. It is hoped that persons will continue to seek help at the facility as the year continues. Immediately following a parent-teacher meeting about the need for safer schools, School of the Nation's head teacher Brian O'Toole was shot and injured in front of his Georgetown home. Wendell Jeffrey spoke to those close to the case to try to make sense of what happened.
In what appeared to be a well-coordinated and vicious attack, the proprietor and head executive here at the School of the Nations was shot last night right in front of his home. A meeting was called yesterday to discuss a security threat that had surfaced on Facebook, where one of the students who was expelled from the school had threatened to hurt the students and the faculty here. And parents and faculty and staff who were concerned were invited to a meeting yesterday afternoon right here at the school's auditorium. In what appeared to be a very coordinated, well-coordinated and vicious attack, the director, the CEO of the School of the Nations was shot last night in both of his hands. The reports are that the bones in one of his hand have been shattered. He is now resting in a stable condition at one of the hospitals here in Georgetown. Only yesterday afternoon, a meeting was convened to discuss a matter which arose as a result of a student who had been expelled posting threats on Facebook. And so the parents and the faculty and staff had gathered at the school right here yesterday afternoon to discuss that matter. And the reports are no sooner than Dr. O'Toole had gone home that he was attacked right in front of his house, right in his yard, and he was shot in a very vicious manner. The security in the school has since been significantly increased. There are now armed guards at the school. You can only access the property through one entrance, and at that entrance there is a system of pat-down. Also, vehicles that do not belong to faculty and staff would not be allowed on the compound, as some of the security details that are being put in place. There are also talks as to putting a scanner, a metal detector, so that the students will have to pass through that. Students and staff will have to pass through that on their way to school. School was suspended today. There was no school at the School of the Nations. And this afternoon at about 5:30, a meeting was called to discuss a way forward and to give an update both on the security detail, matters surrounding that, and indeed the condition of Dr. Brian O'Toole, who was viciously attacked last night in front of his residence. Investigations are going on into whether or not the shootings that took place last night was indeed tied to that threat that was on Facebook. Up to press time, no arrest has been made. However, a meeting was called this afternoon at the school around 5:30 to address the issues, and as Channel 2 Headline News are updated with information in relation to this matter, we will bring it to our viewers.
Thanks, Wendell. Don't go away. Coming up after the break, Minibus Code of Conduct finally unveiled, and VREED and Hope Line Monitor makes morning commute more orderly. But first, here are today's foreign currency exchange rates.
For the latest in news from Guyana, the region, and beyond, visit our website, headlinenewsguyana.com.
What? What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Welcome back. The prime suspect in the January 19 fatal hit-and-run accident has reportedly fled the country. 21-year-old Brian Basio was killed in the accident on Suicide Lane Highway, while another was injured. iNews reports that the suspect's father and brother were questioned by the police, while the car that was suspected to have been involved in the accident was impounded. It was reported that the suspect left Guyana last Monday, 2 days after the accident. However, police sources were not able to confirm these claims. Visitors to the VREED in Hope often marvel at how orderly the Route 32 minibus park is. George Gonzalez tells us that much of the order is due to a system that other parks scrapped years ago.
Loud, chaotic, and hazardous. These are some of the words that come to mind when describing the Starbrook Minibus Park. Even at 7 a.m., the morning madness in front of the big market rivals that of cities far larger than Georgetown. However, the situation is completely different on the other side of the Demerara. This is due in part to this man. His name is Cecil Waldron. He is the line monitor for the VREED and Hoop Bus Park.
My job is to ensure the buses come, load them, book them in order. We load in order with a system. There's no tout around here. So basically we have a nice systematic order with the assistance of the Guyana Police Force Traffic Department.
According to Waldron, this bus park is the only one in the nation to continue to employ such a system. It's arguably the most orderly as a consequence. He is paid $100 from each of the minibus drivers and works directly with the police force and the minibus union. Minibus operators in Georgetown attest to the existence of a similar system in years past, but it was discontinued over 2 decades ago. This system has cultivated a different culture among the minibus operators on this side of the river.
We get a lot of compliments from time to time. Tourists come through, they say that when they come across the river, they want to know a different country that they're in. They feel a lot more safe.
The difference between Georgetown and VREED and Hoop is so great that several operators moved over here to ply their trade. For the most part, they find it far less stressful and more accommodating. While most of the drivers like the strict term-based system, one driver suggested how to improve it even further for the drivers.
I think they should ease up the 32 zone because it's almost 600 bus 32 zone. You buy a bus, you put in 32 zone. It's too much. They should ease the limit. You understand?
In 2017, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure Transportation Survey stated that Region 4 had the highest concentration of minibus ownership in Guyana. With more and more minibuses coming onto the roads each year, maybe it's time for the Georgetown City Council to start considering new ways of managing transportation in Georgetown. Channel 2 Headline News, George Gonzalez.
Thanks, George. Do you feel that such a system should be replicated or adopted to Georgetown? If you're watching, let us know. And on a related note, the long-awaited Minibus Code of Conduct was unveiled today. Wendell Jeffrey was at the Stockbrook Market Bus Park to tell us more about that development.
There's a move in place to formalize the dress code and the code of conduct for the 42 bus drivers. Some of them agree that this is needed. It is something that happens in the international community. And of course, there are some who oppose this move.
My name is Roy Johnson.
How long you been doing this?
Since 1987. Yeah, I like this. Then we get a uniform and then everything will come directly just the way it's supposed to be. Uniform to organize ourselves. Yeah, to organize ourselves. We're not organized at the back here because it's circumspect.
Well, my name is Felix Walker. I'm a pastor, number one. And it was encouraged through the president of the association. He in contact with the police and the Ministry of Business, and they decided they'll have a code of conduct and a code of dress. So we had discussions, and I stepped out on a limb to get the jerseys prepared. And I have 6 people in jerseys already. Hope that others will join. Some areas have organized transport, like over there that runs to Friendship. They don't even use stops. And the few buses, they're well organized. They come in line, they load in line, and they help each other and they go. But this side is madness.
My name is Ishmael Ben. You know, I think our freedoms are being taken away soon. Right? This is privately, right? This is privately owned bus doing a public service. We like to say public transportation. But for me, this privately owned bus doing a public service. I think we should properly dress. But having this uniform, we got to pay for this uniform. You know, it's too dictative. You know, it's dictating. It's all your freedoms are being taken away. What should be concerned? We should concern is that these drivers follow the road rules. I see uniformity in the way in a torn system, right? I see uniformity in a torn system, the way they got the government.
You go to Trinidad, you go to Barbados.
I went to Suriname.
Yeah, you go to Trinidad, you go to Barbados, and you see that the people are outfitted in a uniform, even in the privately owned public transportation.
Well, I've never traveled to Trinidad. I've traveled to Suriname.
It's about control. It's about having things in order. Things cannot continue. You know there's going to be foresight, there's going to be this, and standards will have to rise. I think that by doing this, you're giving them a first chance to put yourself in order. Instead of some rich fella coming with 200-300 bus, get people uniform, and next thing you know, they're in problem. So you have to start now, by time, so that they could get themselves in order. UT would have done it, they're starting it, but I like like chairman for this branch, Mr. Walker would have said, and we know it, people always react to change, especially when it's in their dedication. Let me tell you what I've learned, is that the Guyanese population is a very bright population, a bright bar. They would think of all the ways to do something wrong or to not do the right thing. I don't know why.
As you heard, George, Ian Andrews, the president of the union, is saying that this is a work in progress and that he is convinced that eventually folks will come around, notwithstanding the immediate objection. For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. Don't go away. After the break, hundreds feared dead after dam collapse in Brazil. And NFL coach diversity in the spotlight after a number of black coaches fired. But before that, here's this week's Bridge Attraction schedule.
place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you have a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Welcome back. We now take a look at news from the region. The search has resumed for more than 300 persons still missing after a dam burst in southeast Brazil. 58 people are now confirmed dead. Rescue workers said there are little hope of finding survivors under the sea of mining waste released during Friday's collapse. Activists are warning of a potential environmental disaster as it makes its way to a nearby river. Al Jazeera has more.
This is the result of the dam burst, which spewed out millions of litres of waste from an iron ore mine. In minutes, it destroyed everything in its path: vegetation and infrastructure, homes and lives.
Eu estou tentando ver se eu vejo algum sobrevivente.
I'm just looking for a survivor or any sign of life in the wreckage of this house. Maybe a leg or a hand of a person, I don't know. The way the house was built and fell, it's hard to see anything.
The authorities say there's little chance of finding survivors, but families of the estimated 250 people unaccounted for continue to search. We found Fernando looking for his brother Peterson, a subcontractor at the mine.
I have come to the river to see if I can find some information, someone who could tell me something. Maybe they'll find a body, and it might be my brother.
The mine owners, Vale, have been fined $66 million. The company said a recent inspection passed the dam safe. This is just one tiny part of the huge devastation in this region, a swathe of destruction that swept through this area, destroying homes, killing possibly hundreds of people. Many questions being asked about why lessons were not learnt from the last such disaster in the nearby town of Mariana in November 2015. The town of Brumadinho remains tense, these precautions taken with news of a possible second dam about to rupture. the authorities evacuated families in vulnerable areas and continue to distribute food, water and medicine, and to search.
There's still a possibility we'll find survivors. Until we find every single body, the fire department works with the understanding that there are still people alive.
Some say they will not, cannot give up their search, while there is still some hope.
My mum cannot go out of bed. She's on medication. I'm the only one who can go out and look for information.
Daniel Schweimner, Al Jazeera, Brumadinho, Brazil.
And in international news, 70% of professional football players are African American, but the vast majority of coaches are not. A disparity thrown into stark relief when 5 African American coaches were fired or let go at the end of the season. The league has a rule that requires teams to interview minority candidates for head coach openings, but critics say there's still a lot of work to be done.
For years, the NFL has worked on an issue that's prompted difficult questions. Why is a league with 70% of its players African American led by head coaches who've been predominantly white? When teams began making coaching changes at the end of the 2018 season, the black and white issue came into stark contrast. 5 of the 8 fired coaches were black, and so far, none of the coaches hired to replace them is black. Steve Wilkes was fired in Arizona after just 1 season, winning only 3 of 16 games, replaced by a white college coach who was fired after earning a losing record over 6 seasons.
Well, the league's kind of going backwards. Each year, league officials talk about the need for improving diversity, increasing opportunities for people of color, a lot of them former players.
Fritz Pollard was the first black NFL head coach in 1921. Just 2 black head coaches are on rosters today, Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin and Anthony Lynn of the Los Angeles Chargers. It's something the league addressed back in 2003, creating the Rooney Rule under the threat of a lawsuit. It requires teams to at least interview a minority candidate for each head coach opening. Over time, though, critics said the rule was just a public relations move. The group that works with the NFL to address minority hiring says there's still a lot of work to be done.
We feel good about where we're going in the long run, even though we could say we feel disappointed a little bit what happened in this last hiring cycle.
In a statement, the NFL said it has made great strides in advancing efforts to promote diversity and inclusion throughout the league, including at the head coaching position. 1 week before the Super Bowl, and race is once again in NFL headlines as its sidelines have turned whiter. Ron Mott, NBC News.
Here's your 3-day weather forecast. That's Channel 2 Headline News for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, headlinenewsguyana.com. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast, or Tuesday evening at 7 for more news. For now, I'm Bibi Bakasaniel from your newscasting. Thank you for staying tuned and do have a blessed evening.